Welcome to the University of Idaho Optional Practical Training Workshop for F1 students. My name is Brittany Sonnenberg. I'm an advisor at the International Programs Office here at the U of I. In this workshop, I'm going to explain what OPT is, what the requirements are for F1 students on OPT, and how to prepare your OPT application. Let's get started.
Please note that this tutorial is for instructional purposes only. The IPO is not responsible or liable in any way for the approval or denial of your OPT. Students are solely responsible for filing their application with full documentation, understanding of F1 rules regarding OPT, and properly maintaining F1 status. Visit uscis.gov for more information and complete filing guidance, forms, and fees. If you have any questions after viewing this entire workshop, please schedule an appointment with your IPO advisor in Vandal Star.
So first of all, what is OPT? OPT is a benefit for F1 students to work full-time off campus up to 12 months in the United States. OPT is a continuation of your current F1 visa status. You are not applying for a new visa type. When you apply for OPT, a job offer is not required for the application. Employment on OPT must be related to the student's major of study. Make sure that you revise your I-20 before applying for OPT to make sure that your current major is listed appropriately on your I-20. If the major listed is incorrect, you must request a new I-20 in iVandal before applying for OPT. Let's make sure you're eligible to apply for OPT. F1 students must have been enrolled full-time for a minimum of 2 semesters at a U.S. higher institution in order to be eligible to apply for OPT. To qualify for post-completion OPT, students must be in their final semester at the U of I. If you have used more than 12 months of full-time curricular practical training, you do not qualify for OPT. Part-time CPT does not affect OPT eligibility. OPT requires an application to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS. OPT also requires a recommendation from the International Programs Office. You may not submit your OPT application until you have received your OPT I-20 from the IPO. When can students apply for OPT? F1 students can apply for OPT as early as 90 days before their graduation date. You also have time to apply after graduation during your 60-day grace period after your program end date has passed. OPT applications take 90 days or longer to be processed, and for this reason, IPO recommends students apply before graduation to avoid losing any work days. The later you apply, the less time you may have on OPT. Students must apply for OPT before they leave the United States. If you plan to leave the United States after graduation, please remember to apply for OPT before you leave, or you will forfeit your right to OPT. OPT requires a $410 non-refundable application fee payable to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. This fee can be paid in the form of check, money order, or credit card. The filing fee and the instructions can be found here at the website listed below. Some students who majored in a STEM field may be eligible for a 24-month STEM OPT extension. Students must check the Department of Homeland Security's STEM designated degree program list to see if their program qualifies. Your program CIP code listed in your program of study on the I-20 will determine if you are qualified for a STEM extension. Please review the STEM OPT workshop video for more information regarding STEM OPT extension. Let's discuss how to choose your OPT employment start date. You must choose an employment start date when you apply for OPT. This employment start date is during the 60-day grace period after graduation. This date cannot be changed after your application has been submitted. For example, if you are graduating on May 14, 2021, the earliest possible start date is the day after graduation on May 15, 2021. The latest possible start date would be July 13, 2021, the 60th day of your grace period. If you have already received a job offer and your job begins during your grace period, for example on June 15, that would be the day that you choose for your OPT employment start date based on your employment start with the company. Although a job offer is not needed to apply for post-completion OPT, you must find employment and start working within 90 days after your OPT start date. If you are unemployed for more than 90 days in your first year of OPT, you must choose to return home, start at the next level of study, or file for a change of visa status. Once employed, you must prove how the job is related to your major and level of study. I recommend that you consult with the U of I Career Services team to search for job opportunities and receive resume and interview advice. Start your job search and plan early. During OPT, you are not limited to one job. You may have multiple jobs or change jobs as long as each job is major related and you do not exceed 90 days of unemployment. Non-qualifying positions do not stop the accrual of unemployment. If you have been unemployed for more than 90 days, as discussed earlier, you must leave the United States or be admitted to the next level of study, or you may be subject to removal from the United States. Employment must be at least 20 hours per week. You can meet this requirement through one job or a combination of jobs. Please note that due to COVID-19, there may be some exceptions to this rule. Please contact the International Programs Office if you have questions. A student may be self-employed or start a business while on OPT. The student must be able to prove that they have the proper business licenses and are actively engaged in a business related to their degree program. Students may also choose to intern or volunteer in their first year of OPT in a position directly related to their academic field to be considered employed, as long as it does not violate any labor laws. Please note, for the 24-month STEM extension, employment must be traditional paid employment. As mentioned earlier, the OPT processing times are roughly 90 days or longer. If you have a job offer at the time of application, we encourage you to include that offer in your complete OPT application to be considered for an earlier approval in as little as 8 weeks. A job offer cannot be sent in later to request the expediting of an application. Please keep in mind that there may be delays in processing, and an approval is not always guaranteed. The IPO is not responsible or liable in any way for the approval or denial of your OPT application. Let's talk about a few things to consider before applying for OPT. If you have not applied for OPT before your program end date, you must submit your OPT application to USCIS before leaving the United States. Travel while OPT is pending is not recommended by the University of Idaho International Programs Office. If you are planning to travel while your OPT application is still pending, please consult your International Programs Office first. Once OPT has been approved, you may travel while you are on OPT. Please remember to travel with the following items. You will need a valid F1 visa stamp, a valid passport, an I-94, a signed I-20 with a travel signature from the International Programs Office. Please keep in mind that travel signatures for OPT students are only valid for 6 months. Please plan ahead before you decide to leave the United States so that you can get a travel signature from your International Services Advisor before departing. You will also need to travel with your OPT receipt and an approval notice from USCIS. You will also receive an employment authorization card. Please make sure you travel with that in your carry-on luggage. If you have a job offer, please bring that with you when you are traveling. Some other things to keep in mind: if you are traveling while you are an OPT and your F1 visa has expired, you will need to renew your F1 visa before returning to the United States. You cannot renew your F1 visa with a pending OPT application. You must wait until OPT has been approved to schedule a visa renewal appointment. Let's continue with a few frequently asked questions regarding OPT. What about renewing or applying for a driver's license while on OPT? You cannot renew your driver's license until your pending OPT application has been approved and you have received the approval documentation, including your EAD card, updated I-20, and also you must bring a valid passport with you at the time of renewal. Do I need to report my OPT employment? Yes. SEVP will send you an email upon approval of your OPT. You must set up your SEVP portal and update any new employment within 10 days of accepting employment. Can I keep working on campus after graduation if I'm waiting for my OPT approval? No, you may not. Your employment at the University of Idaho will be terminated on your final day of your program. After graduation, you may not work or volunteer until your OPT has been approved. Can I study and work on OPT at the same time? No. If you decide to pursue the next level of study, your OPT employment will be terminated and you will need to request a change of level from the IPO or a SEVIS transfer to your new school before classes begin. What if I applied for OPT and failed to graduate? If this happens, let us know as soon as possible. If you have applied for OPT and failed to graduate, schedule an advising appointment with your International Services Advisor via Vandal Star. What if my application is denied? If you are still within the grace period, you may stay in the United States for the remainder of the 60 days. If the grace period has already ended, you should depart the United States without delay. The chances for successfully appealing an I-765 denial are low. If you believe you were denied in error, please contact an International Services Advisor or a private immigration attorney immediately. What happens after OPT has ended? If your OPT has expired and you have not exceeded the 90 days of unemployment, you will have another 60-day grace period. During this grace period, you may prepare to leave the United States, receive acceptance and get a new I-20 for a new degree program at the U of I, request a transfer of your SEVIS record to a new school to begin a new program, or obtain a different visa status.
Now that you understand the rules of post-completion OPT, let's talk about the application. There are two options to apply for OPT. You may choose to apply for post-completion OPT online by creating an online USCIS account or by submitting your paper application by mail to the USCIS lockbox. You must choose only one option. The IPO does not recommend one option over another, and there are no advantages to applying one way versus another. Processing times are roughly the same for both options. Note that you should proceed with the online application process very carefully. The online application system allows you to submit your application without all of the required evidence, which can lead to requests for evidence and additional difficulties. This means you must be very careful to ensure that all of the evidence is included before submitting the online application. If you wish to apply for OPT online at uscis.gov, please watch the guide to apply for post-completion OPT online on the IPO's website before requesting your OPT I-20 in iVandal. If you wish to apply for OPT by filing a paper application by mail, please watch the guide to apply for post-completion OPT by mail on the IPO's website before requesting your OPT I-20 in iVandal.
Thank you for reviewing this OPT workshop video. If you have questions after reviewing this video, you may contact your International Services Advisor. Students with last names beginning with A and B may contact your advisor, Adriana Ota Kotner, at the email or phone number listed below. Students with last names beginning with C through Z may contact your advisor, Brittany Sonnenberg, at her email and phone number listed below. Thank you, and best of luck in your job search.